So, Robbie, climate change and Canada's wildfire. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, well, folks, there are currently more than 400 forest fires tearing through many parts.
Sorry about that.
No problem. So, yeah, there are currently more than 400 forest fires tearing their way through parts of British Columbia and Alberta in Canada's west, as well as Nova Scotia, Quebec, and parts of Ontario in the east. Around one third of these fires are burning in the eastern part of the country, and this is a region that isn't used to dealing with large fires. So, this season, there have been over 2,600 forest fires that have consumed in the neighborhood of 5 million hectares, an area roughly the size of Costa Rica. So
Hmm.
this
Oh
makes
my
2023,
God.
yeah, this makes 2023 the worst year for fire damage since 1995, when about 7.5 million hectares burned. But the
That's
season's still young,
horrible.
right? Yeah. So we can appreciate the loss in terms of forest, wildlife loss of habitat, displacement. But this year, the smoke was of grave concern for humans because it was triggering and aggravating respiratory problems in several residents. So my
Yeah,
question is,
down here,
how?
shoot, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, right. So how? My question that I'm posing is, how can we address the increasing threat of wildfires and mitigate their impact on communities and the environment? Because let's be honest, with climate change, as we get warmer, this is the reality moving forward. We need to think about how we're going to manage this.
Yeah.
Johnny, go ahead.
Um, Apparently it's just gonna get worse. So honestly, just like do my own little research. I don't know everything, but with further research, I know that like wildfire management itself is just complicated and involves a bunch of different
Yeah.
factors. So
Oh.
to
Mhm.
truly address the issue would be
Mm-hmm.
to kind of have a team effort, first of all. And it's between the companies,
Mm-hmm.
such as like I think like oil production companies, government, and the community, obviously, so that we can be prepared in case of this. Um, all of that is needed. But the very first thing, in my opinion,
And forest
is
management.
to stop. Oh, really? I was gonna say stop the production that's increasing the cause of this dry, hot ass air that's
Oh,
sparking
you're
these
you're so
wildfires and
you're saying
floods.
climate change.
Yeah,
So
the actual
addressing
climate
climate
change itself.
change. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. And what's causing the climate change is, from what I've researched, is these companies, a lot of these oil companies, and people like Justin
Emissions. Trudeau.
Trudeau,
Trudeau. Yep.
Trudeau. Sorry, Justin Trudeau and Biden. Like they're backing companies that are like they're basically fronting the bill or accepting companies that are doing this and putting more emissions out into the air, which is causing this issue. So it's just like a circle effect that's happening. Instead of them stopping the production, sure, we have to actually have more management, like Neil was about to say, land management and forest fire management. But what if it keeps happening because the production is continuing? So that's, I would say, stop the production first.
I mean, at this
It's
point,
very difficult to
yeah,
stop the production, though,
yeah.
Johnny. It's We have to recognize the role that climate change is exacerbating on in these conditions, but
At this point, we're fucked. Let's be
Oh,
real.
it's over.
No, it's not
Okay,
that it's
so there's
over.
nothing we
At
can do.
this point, it's
Oh,
not that this. Okay, there's nothing we can do. But if we're looking at climate change and the effects of climate change will continue for many years to come, regardless of what we do. So
yes.
right.
these wildfires are going to be happening for decades. These hurricanes are going to be happening for decades. For us to affect significant change will take decades, maybe a full
Decade.
millennia. You know,
Got you.
it may take a long time for us to actually affect the change in the other direction. So yes, we do need to do something about climate change, but at this point, we have to figure out what are we going to do
Prevention.
about like how are we going to deal with the increase in hurricanes? How are we going to deal with the increase in wildfires? You know, and I mean, I
I
like
see.
what you're saying though, Gianni, in terms of forest fire management. We have to be more proactive. We have to recognize that we
Where the
have these
problem,
issues. Climate
yeah,
change is here. You know, it's like when you have earthquakes, right? You have a place that has common earthquakes. What do? You build buildings that can survive earthquakes. So now we
right.
have to start
Yep.
building buildings that can survive hurricanes. We have to
Mhm.
make sure that we start doing the things to prevent forest fires, or we need to get Smokey the Bear out in Canada. I don't know, but I'm just saying. I mean, there's a lot we can do, but there's a lot that needs to be done as well.
So now, Neo, you mentioned something about the air quality because of the smoke. Now, have you or Johnny experienced any of that firsthand?
Hell
or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. Like there was one day I think we had code purple, which is the worst air quality you can have. It's code purple here. And it was just like, it was like you were in a smoked room. Like you were in a room with smoke. Like you walk outside and immediately you're breathing in smoke.
You're breathing in the haze.
Yeah,
the haze
you think that there. when it smelled just like somebody was, doing a cookout right in front of you. Like there was a cookout and you were somebody was grilling and the smoke's blowing in your face, and that's what it smelled like. It felt like. And you kept losing your breath. My wife has asthma, so she gets asthma with particles in the air, and she was struggling a lot that day. I know in New York it was really bad.
Very. Yes.
That the day I'm referring to was code purple here. It was even worse up there. So yeah, it was it was pretty awful. I'm not gonna lie. All right, a couple of comments online. Oh, good. Go ahead, go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let's get to the comments for sure.
Yeah, so Jacqueline Rom said it took something like Canadian wildfires to remind me that we're all in this together. We could smell the smoke here in D.C. even with our windows closed, and that's true. Our eyes stung with the air quality was horrendous, especially for those with respiratory problems. We also have to remember that climate change contributes to the increase in migration of people from one country to another. We see this playing out in Europe and the U.S. Go ahead, Robbie.
Yeah, no, it's I liked the comments that you were making. And to circle back to Johnny's, like as far as transitioning to cleaner and renewable energy sources, that's something that we are doing. We're implementing climate change adaptation strategies. Like Neo said, like this is going to take decades to undo where the damage that we've done up until this point. And what I really liked was when you were talking about the different agencies, because we do need interdisciplinary collaboration. We need to encourage collaboration between scientists, policymakers, land managers, and communities to develop comprehensive strategies for wildfire protection and mitigation. When we combine expertise from all of these fields, we can get a more innovative approach and solutions that can be formulated to tackle the complex challenges associated with these wildfires.
Yeah,
exactly. Actually, something done. It's a team effort.
Yeah, totally agree. We got a lot of work to do, though. All right.
Yeah, and just to put it into context, my friends, Sudbury Fire 17 started early June. I believe it was June 9th. And that one is still burning out of control as of 4 days ago. And it is, it's 96 kilometers west of Sudbury. So
I just want to cry. That's so sad. Imagine all of the animals.
Yeah, that's something that that Jose mentioned, was all the animals had to be evacuated as well. I mean, not only ones that not the ones that need to be evacuated, but ones had to have been killed as well. So
of course, the wild animals and the trees. Trees have feelings. What plants?
Lumber prices have skyrocketed, have gone up again.
Oh, I'm sure. That's probably worldwide.
Well, it's going to have an impact for sure to whoever we import to. Yeah,
that's probably worldwide. It's probably going to have a significant effect. We have wildfires in the U.S. every year as well, usually across California and
Cali.
But
and they're bad. They were bad recently.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the case though, because again, we're in this climate that we're in. So. Yeah. All right. Is this truth, lies, shenanigans?
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
This is unfortunately the truth.
This is very true. Very true.
All right.